This is a video of public outcry. This is something that should be in the inboxes of every citizen of the United States of America. One that should be seen by each and every citizen that uses the internet, and one that should be seen also by the leaders that are currently debating about restrictions that would cause the internet itself to become a bit of a different environment than it is today. As you know, there is a bill right now that is being proposed through Congress that is going to cause censorship amongst the internet as well as other things. There are some things that they're not going to tell you about unless you really listen to the news, really follow the news, and using the internet as a tool in order to get your news. Now, we know that in 2009, even here on YouTube, it became very, very hard to post music or clips of movies and things like that due to the copyright acts and things like that that restrict that and make it potentially criminal in order to do so. Now, these are things that I'm actually kind of in support of. Now, it is kind of difficult for the whole try before you buy endeavor, and also it still hasn't really restricted in a large dosage online downloading. But there have been ways in which they've been able to control that, as well as ways in which they can restrict that, where if you do get caught, you can be processed and become, and have to pay fines or even face jail time. However, that's something that's going to become even more changed over the next period of time if this bill is allowed to pass. This is getting to the point where your public records could easily become assets of the federal government, something that they can request and receive without a warrant, without even having a just cause in order to get your private information. They will be allowed to do it if this bill is passed. There will be restrictions that will be on websites. Websites will be banned. You will not be allowed to pass forward if one user even on your website posts a link that they feel is in violation of this bill, of this act, if it were to pass. There'll be large bars that will censor your ability to traverse the website. Also, to couple further with the whole cybercrime idea of posting links, of posting clips of music or movies, it is now possible that if the ability to copyright this song, this piece of work, costs more than $2,500, you could be liable, held responsible, incarcerated, and face jail time of up to 5 years. If you run a personal blog, if you run a personal website, if you run a business and maybe somebody makes a threat, either that or posts something that maybe is your jingle, either that or a song that sounds like your jingle or something like that, your website could be restricted from other users. There are many other little interesting trinkets about this bill that are just infuriating. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a blatant example of overreach and abuse of power. This completely removes the entire idea of the First Amendment, something that has been damaged, severed, hidden behind, used as an excuse and battered to death ever since its inception, but especially so within the past 10, 15, 20, 30 years. Within recent memory, the First Amendment has been used and abused and hidden behind and used as an excuse to the point that it has absolutely zero value in our society. And the government now is willing to hop on that boat and say, First Amendment, fuck that! This video right here could be taken down because I'm opposing what they want, because I'm opposing what they're voting. Well, this is what I say to you. Until this video gets taken down, find out how you can get into contact with your local congressman, with your local congresswoman. Go all the way up to the top if you have to, and say no. Say no. I do not want my private information to be available to the federal government without a warrant. There needs to be just cause in order for that information to fall into your hands. George Orwell wrote a book called 1984. And I'm about to pose to you a 1984-like scenario. Imagine this. This bill's allowed to pass. 5 years from now, we notice that every single jail in America has a new wing. There's the D wing. There's the A wing. There's the B wing. There's solitary confinement. But there's also a cyber wing. And no, these aren't people who are being incarcerated from their homes and they're in a cell via satellite. No, these are all people that are incarcerated because of cyber crimes, all in one place. You'll have one one prisoner talking to the other one. Yeah, what'd you get thrown in here for? Oh, I uploaded a Metallica song. What did you do? Oh, well, I made a video and I decided to post something negative about a certain act that was on a website, on an opinion blog, and they found my information, and here I am. This almost makes public opinion useless. We don't want this scenario. But it's a scenario that could become a very dark reality if this is allowed to pass. Do you think that this should pass? If you think this should pass, please leave a comment and tell me why. That way I can quickly tell you how your rights too will be violated. This is something also that's not just happening in America. This is a bill that in a different format but in same capacity has also been passed in the UK. This is absolute nonsense, ladies and gentlemen. And it is up to you to express your outrage. It is up to you to tell anybody who's in power, any of the suits that are voting on this measure, that this is one that should be denied, for one, and for two, if it should even be considered, we should be the ones to vote for it, not you. You might be at the top, but we're the ones that it affects. And if you want to have the ability to seize all of our information without a warrant, we better as fuck be okay with it. Because if not, then there is no reason to live here. Make sure to write your congressman, whether it be an email or a letter. Take it all the way up to the top if you must. This is not a measure of political side, political party, or political difference. This is flat out about your rights, ladies and gentlemen, members of the nation and other members, potential future members of the Cover Killer Nation. This is about your rights. Don't let your rights be infringed upon by this act.